I've gone through a lot, a huge emotional and spiritual battle.
Okay, some news just breaking to us in the last couple of minutes. A former member of the Fugees has been convicted of 10 finance-related federal charges, including money laundering and campaign finance violations.
If you plan to steal shit, you definitely gotta clean this up, because right now my little sister.
So he was talking about, I guess, was Wyclef married at the time?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's still married.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't know when he got married. So at the time that the score came out, he was married.
I've gone through a lot, a huge emotional and spiritual battle.
All right, let's talk about Lauryn Hill. What's been up with her lately? Why has she been so MIA in recent years? Is there more to her legendary music career than we've been led on to? What's been really going on behind the scenes? Has she been dealing with struggles that have kept her from shining like we know she can? There's gotta be more to the story.
To the incarceration of Lauryn Hill. The 8-time Grammy winner was sentenced to 3 months in prison after pleading guilty to failing to file tax returns between 2005 and 2007.
Fans have been wondering why she's not making new music or performing like before. What's happening with Lauryn Hill now? Let's explore the truth behind her silence and what's next for her.
I grew up around a lot of music. Like Spanish guitarists who some people, wouldn't even know. People like Gilberto and Jose Feliciano.
Lauryn Hill came into the world on May 26, 1975, in South Orange, New Jersey. Growing up wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but honey, nothing could hold her back. At just 13 years old, Lauryn hit the stage at Showtime at the Apollo. And let me tell you, the crowd wasn't feeling her rendition of Smokey Robinson's Who's Loving You. They booed her hard. Most kids would have folded, but not Lauryn. She took that L and kept on grinding, determined to turn her dreams into reality. That resilience, it's the stuff legends are made of. Now here's where things get interesting. Lauryn crossed paths with Pra Michelle, one of the masterminds behind the legendary hip-hop group, the Fugees, when she was still in high school. Pra says they first met when she was around 12 or 13, and the moment he heard her, he knew she had something special. He invited her to join his group, and she was all in. Pras, being a Haitian-American artist, made a promise to Lauryn's mom that he'd look out for her, and he did just that. Before long, Lauryn, Pras, and a girl named Marcy Harrell formed a trio called Time. And let me tell you, that was just the beginning of something major.
I started the Fugees. It was myself, this girl named Marcy, and then she introduced me to Lauryn Hill. So it was actually me and 2 girls, so me, Marcy, and Lauryn.
So, the trio got a big break when they were given the chance to record in a studio owned by none other than a member of Kool and the Gang. They whipped up a track with a reggae vibe, but something was missing, It needed that extra spark. Well, Pras knew exactly who could bring that fire, his boy, Wyclef Jean. And baby, once Wyclef stepped in, you knew it was about to be magic.
He was very dramatic. And we made good music.
Wyclef Jean later spilled the tea in his memoir, sharing that when he first walked into that studio and saw Lauryn, he was straight up blown away by her raw talent, even though she was much younger. Wyclef respected Pras's wish to keep things all business with Lauryn at first, but as time went on, he started building a serious bond with her. Meanwhile, Wyclef was also getting close to a woman named Marie Claude Annette. She was a few years older, a model and gospel singer, and she had Wyclef's back when he was struggling financially. She let him crash in her family's basement and even supported him with cash when things got tight. She believed in his music and was a major part of his early grind. By 1993, Lauryn was already starring in Sister Act 2, and the Fugees had inked a deal with Rough House Records. Their debut album, Blunted on Reality, dropped in 1994, but the initial reception? A flop, selling just 12 copies. But don't get it twisted. Underground music circles were vibing with them, and soon enough the Fugees were jet-setting around the globe. And it's around this time that things between Lauryn and Wyclef were heating up, even though Wyclef was still married to Marie Claude. Uh-oh.
So he was talking about, I guess, was Wyclef married at the time?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's still married.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't know when he got married. So at the time that the score came out, he was married.
Wyclef eventually kept it real in his memoir, admitting that Lauryn was his muse and that their second album, The Score, was basically the soundtrack to their whole romantic situation. But things got messy when Marie Claude Annette started picking up on the vibes between Wyclef and Lauryn. She wasn't blind to it, she knew something was off. Eventually, Wyclef had to come clean and told Marie that, yeah, He was in love with Lauren because of the magic they were creating together in the studio, but he reassured her, saying that he still loved her, just in a different way. Now here's where it gets interesting. Back in 1994, Wyclef and Marie tied the knot, and Lauren was there at the wedding. Wyclef pointed out in his memoir that Lauren was super respectful that day, because he had talked to her beforehand and made it clear where his loyalty lay. Fast forward to 1996, and the Fugees dropped The Score. Baby, that album blew up, going 6 times platinum and snagging 2 Grammy Awards. Talk about success. But it was clear that the behind-the-scenes drama was just as wild as the music was iconic.
I think I chose to become a rapper because, you know, I had a lot of things that I wanted to say. And at that point, you know, R&B music wasn't really being used to make any statements. It was hip.
Tracks like Fuji Law, Killing Me Softly, and Ready or Not were straight fire, and the Fugees were at the top of the game. Lauryn Hill had officially made it, and you could feel that her journey was just getting started.
Okay, some news just breaking to us in the last couple of minutes. A former member of the Fugees has been convicted of 10 finance-related federal charges, including money laundering and campaign finance violations.
But y'all know how it goes. Sometimes friendships hit a bump when money and misunderstandings get in the mix, and that's exactly what went down between Pras Michelle and Lauren. Fast forward to October 2024, when Pras decided to take it to court, suing Lauren over an alleged breach of contract and fraud tied to the cancellation of a Fugees tour. The tension had already been brewing between them, especially after Pras dropped a diss track called Bar Mitzvah, where he threw major shade at Lauren following the tour's collapse. But don't think Lauren was just gonna sit back and take it. Nah, sis clapped back hard on Instagram, calling his claims flat out false and reminding everyone how she had been there for him financially in the past. But hold up, this wasn't the only drama she had to deal with. Let's rewind to 2012, when Lauren found herself in some serious legal hot water. She got hit with charges for not paying taxes on the money she made between 2005 and 2007. We're talking a whopping $1.8 million. This wasn't tax evasion. She didn't intentionally try to dodge paying, but failing to file and pay on time? That's a crime, baby. You know how the IRS plays.
To the incarceration of Lauryn Hill. The 8-time Grammy winner was sentenced to 3 months in prison after pleading guilty to failing to file tax returns between 2005 and 2007.
During those years, Lauren was out here living her best life, staying busy with tours, raking in cash from her music and acting gigs, and even running her own businesses. But let me tell you, she wasn't just lounging around, she had a lot on her plate. In a long Tumblr post, Lauren got real about why she didn't pay her taxes. She said she had stepped away from the public eye because she felt like the world had become hostile. She was tired of dealing with false entitlement, manipulation, racism, sexism, and ageism. According to Lauren, when she was grinding in the industry and not dealing with all that, she was on top of her taxes. It was only when she pulled back to protect herself and her family that things went downhill. Fast forward to June 2012, Lauren showed up in court in New Jersey and pleaded guilty to those tax charges. Her lawyer promised she'd pay back what she owed, but by April 2013, she'd only managed to cough up $50,000 of the $554,000 she owed at that point. The judge, Madeline Cox Arleo, was not here for it. She let Lauren know that she wasn't broke and needed to do more to settle her debt. But wait, there was more. Lauren was also facing the possibility of being kicked out of her rented home in South Orange, New Jersey. The town had slapped her with a lawsuit for running a business out of her crib without the proper permits. It was looking real messy for Ms. Hill at this point.
The people need to know. Some people might have bought tickets. I hope you didn't. But I told y'all. When it was first announced, I told y'all this tour was not happening and it was gonna get canceled. And Lauryn Hill is blaming the media for sensationalizing
her last canceled tours.
Canceled tours and missing shows and
In May 2013, Lauryn Hill got hit with a sentence of 3 months in prison for not paying her taxes. But it didn't stop there. She also had to serve 3 months of house arrest and a year of supervised probation. Now, it could have been way worse. She could have been facing up to 36 months behind bars. But the judge took her clean record and her 6 kids into consideration. Lauren had already paid back almost $1 million, covering the taxes she owed plus all the extra penalties for the late payments. In court, she got real about how she had lived modestly, even though she was raking in the cash from her music career. Lauren also opened up about coming from a family that had to struggle and fight against a system that was stacked against them. After the sentencing, she reported to a low-security prison in Danbury, Connecticut on July 8, 2013. But don't think Lauren just sat around. She kept her hustle going. She was released early on October 4, 2013 for good behavior. Once she was out, she started serving her house arrest and probation, but that didn't stop her grind. While in prison, she was still working on music. She dropped a track called Consumerism, showing she was still in the studio, despite the bars surrounding her. You can't keep a legend down for long. Baby, let me tell you, sis was out here making moves even behind bars. She kept things rolling through emails and phone calls while locked up. And baby, she even got the judge to let her hit the stage for a very limited tour in 2013, but under some strict-as-hell conditions. Fast forward to 2014, Lauryn switched it up and lent her voice to the documentary concerning violence, which dived deep into the African liberation movements of the 60s and 70s. But let's keep it real, her public image took a lil hit around this time too. Whew, at the Voodoo Music Festival in November 2014, sis showed up late to not one, but both of her performances that day. Needless to say, her fans were not here for it.
End of the day, she has a reputation of people being disappointed by her being late, different things like that. Or canceling the show. That's not something the media made up. That's something that actually happened.
In May 2015, Lauryn found herself in more controversy when she canceled a concert in Israel. She was set to perform just outside Tel Aviv, but a group of activists pushed for her to pull the show as part of the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions (BDS) movement. Lauryn said she didn't want to upset her fans in either Israel or Palestine, and she claimed logistical issues were the real reason she couldn't perform. But of course, the drama didn't stop there. That same year, Lauryn made a major contribution to the soundtrack of the documentary What Happened, Miss Simone, about the legendary Nina Simone, singer and civil rights icon. Lauryn ended up recording 6 songs for the soundtrack, way more than the 2 she initially planned. She felt a deep spiritual connection to Simone's music and legacy, and her work on that project got rave reviews from critics. But even when Lauryn was doing good, she couldn't avoid the drama. She hosted the Diaspora Calling Festival in Brooklyn, New York, where she highlighted artists and musicians from across the African diaspora, including a Haitian Rara band. The event was all about celebration, but once again, she faced backlash when she showed up over 2 hours late to a concert in Atlanta in May 2016. Fans were pissed, and Lauryn later explained that she needed to align her energy with the time, and that her driver got lost. Girl, we all know that didn't go over well. Still, Lauryn kept creating music. She shifted focus to her solo career, but things didn't always go according to plan. As she began performing solo, many fans found themselves disappointed, feeling like the magic wasn't the same as it had been in the past. Lauryn just couldn't catch a break, no matter how much she tried to move forward. Lauryn started to develop a reputation for being hours late to her concerts, changing up her songs in ways that had fans scratching their heads and rocking a new, mysterious look that didn't sit well with everyone. Some fans got so frustrated that they booed her and left her shows early. But despite all the drama, Lauryn still managed to drop a new song, Lose Myself, in 2007 for the movie Surf's Up. Fans were holding on to hope that a full album would come soon, but, spoiler alert, it never did. In 2008, Lauryn welcomed her 5th child with Rohan Marley. Though they weren't living together, there was still a deep bond between them. Lauryn moved back to South Orange, New Jersey, to live with her mom and kids. During this time, some people thought she might be taking a break from music, but Rohan swore up and down that Lauryn was always writing, even in the most random places. In 2009, Lauryn tried to get back into the game with a 10-day European tour, but things quickly took a turn for the worse. During one of her shows, she passed out on stage, which led her to cancel the rest of the tour, leaving a lot of fans frustrated and upset because they didn't get their refunds. Even with all this chaos, Lauryn still dropped new music. On May 4th, 2013, she released Neurotic Society, Compulsory Mix, her first official single in over 10 years. But with all the ups and downs, you can't deny one thing. Lauryn Hill was never truly gone. She was still pushing through, doing things her way.
So passively, desperados and casualties, corporations want batteries, explanations and strategies, domination and mastery.
Lauryn later took to her Tumblr to explain that the release of Neurotic Society Compulsory Mix was rushed because of a looming legal deadline. The song didn't exactly sit well with everyone, especially the lyrics, which some interpreted as linking societal issues to certain LGBT movements. Lauryn quickly defended herself, saying the song wasn't targeting any specific group. Instead, she explained it was about people who hide behind neurotic behavior and use it to deflect from deeper issues. In 2019, she came back with a new track called Guarding the Gates for the movie Queen and Slim, and it was featured on the movie's soundtrack, adding to her ever-evolving legacy. But 2010 was the year that really got fans buzzing. After a long break from the stage, Lauryn made a huge return in January, performing in New Zealand and Australia as part of the Ragamuffin Music Festival. Her fans were hyped because Lauryn hadn't been seen on stage for a minute. During these performances, she brought out a mix of tracks, including many songs she had worked on over the past 6 years. Then, in April 2010, an unofficial album called Kulami Phase dropped, featuring those live songs as well as tracks from her earlier work, including the Ms. Hill compilation. Lauryn was back in full force, reminding everyone that even when she's silent, she's never really gone. Later in 2010, Lauryn made another major move when she performed at the Harmony Festival in Santa Rosa, California. This was her first U.S. performance in several years, and you know her fans were going wild for it. They'd been waiting forever for her return, and she gave them exactly what they wanted. Then, in July 2010, an unreleased track called Repercussions mysteriously leaked online, and it was an instant hit. The song soared to number 94 on Billboard's Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs chart, and even climbed to number 83 the following week. That marked Lauryn's first time on the Billboard charts as a lead artist since 1999. Y'all know that was a major flex. Lauryn Hill was reminding everyone real quick, she's a legend and she's not going anywhere.
I was born into this world.
In August 2010, Lauryn took things to the next level by joining the Rock the Bells Hip Hop Festival tour across the US. But here's the real tea. One of the major highlights of this tour was when Lauryn performed The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill in its entirety for the first time. Yes, you heard that right. Every single track from that iconic album. But Lauryn being Lauryn, she gave it her own twist, speeding up the tempo and making the songs feel more urgent, more in your face. Now, sometimes she had a little trouble connecting with her band during the shows, but that didn't stop her from doing her thing. She kept rocking the stage and keeping the crowd hyped, including a dope set at the 6th annual Jazz in the Gardens in Miami Gardens, Florida that December. But Lauryn's grind didn't slow down in 2011 either. She performed at major festivals like Coachella and the New Orleans Jazz Fest, and even had a show at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. Busy, busy. Then, in July 2011, she had her 6th child, Micah. This was a big moment for Lauryn because Micah was her first child with someone other than Rohan Marley. But here's the kicker. Micah's father's identity was kept under wraps, leaving everyone wondering who the mystery man was. Even with the secrets and the ups and downs, Lauryn Hill was out here living her life, staying on the grind, and keeping us all on our toes.
I've gone through a lot, a huge emotional and spiritual battle.
In February 2012, Lauryn shocked her fans by debuting a brand new song called Fearless Vampire Killer at a sold-out show at the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. The crowd went wild, and this was just the beginning of what turned out to be a big year for her. Later in 2012, she hit the road on tour with rapper Nas. The tour was called Black Rage, named after a powerful song Lauryn wrote that addressed racial inequality and abuse. Lauryn explained that the song was a call to confront these issues head-on, because real peace and happiness can only come when we tackle these injustices. Now let's talk about her personal life, because when you think of iconic music families, the Marley Hill clan always comes to mind. Lauryn and Rohan Marley, the son of reggae legend Bob Marley, have passed down an undeniable musical legacy to their children. Their son, YG Marley, is now carrying the torch and making his own waves in the industry. Born Joshua Marley, YG grew up in a musical environment, and it was clear he was destined to follow in his family's footsteps. His music journey officially kicked off in 2023 when he dropped his debut single, Praise Jah in the Moonlight. The track features a sample from his grandfather Bob Marley's hit Crisis, blending that classic Marley sound with YG's own unique style. Looks like the Marley legacy is in good hands, y'all. YG Marley has always had the support of his famous parents, Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley, as he navigates his music career. Lauryn's influence is undeniable. She's not only his mother, but also a guiding force in shaping his sound. The two have even shared the stage at major events like Coachella and the BET Awards, showing the world that the family's musical magic is alive and well. But while Lauryn has been a major influence, it's clear YG is carving his own path. Rohan Marley opened up about YG's journey in a podcast in 2024, revealing that, despite their famous family, there's no pressure on YG to live up to anyone's expectations. Rohan believes that YG has been allowed to find his own voice, free from the heavy weight of his family's legacy. And when you look at YG's career, you can see how both Lauryn and Rohan's influences are present. Lauryn is one of the most respected names in hip-hop and R&B, and The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is still considered an iconic, timeless album. As for Rohan, while he's known more for his business ventures and football career, he was raised in the musical heart of the Marley family. With his father Bob Marley being a global reggae legend, it's clear that musical roots run deep in the Marley bloodline. And now, with YG Marley stepping into the spotlight, it's clear that this musical legacy isn't going anywhere.
Give just the thanks and praises. I've been on my own.
Despite the fame that comes with being part of such a legendary family, YG Marley has worked hard to forge his own identity as an artist. And in 2024, he hit a major milestone when his song Praise Jah in the Moonlight made it onto the Billboard Hot 100, proving that his hard work is paying off. Rohan Marley took a moment to praise Lauryn for being the rock in their son's career. He acknowledged that while he's YG's father, it's Lauryn who's been the true musical guide. Rohan said that Lauryn's undeniable talent and deep knowledge of the industry have been instrumental in YG's journey, and she's the one who's really taught him the ropes. YG's music is a reflection of his rich Marley roots, but he's also carving out his own unique space in the music world. He's performed alongside his mother at huge events like Coachella and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and the performances have been a perfect blend of the old school and the new. YG brings fresh, exciting energy, while Lauryn Hill shows that her legendary voice is still unmatched. The Marley Hill legacy is clearly alive and thriving, but the family is also growing in other ways. YG Marley is a father himself, and his older brother Zion has also joined the Parenthood Club, making Lauryn a proud grandmother. In 2023, YG shared a rare glimpse into his family life, posting a picture of his 3 children. It's clear that the Marley Hill clan is not just a musical dynasty, but a growing family that's carrying its legacy forward into the next generation. Lauryn Hill has truly made a lasting impact on the world in more ways than one, from her iconic hair to her style and her charity work. Let's dive into some of her other ventures, like fashion and philanthropy, in a way that feels easy and real. First off, let's talk about Lauryn's hair. It's always been a huge part of who she is. She's known for rocking natural styles like locks, braids, Bantu knots, and afros, each of these looks celebrating natural beauty, especially for Black women. Back in the 1990s, there weren't a ton of public figures embracing their natural hair, but Lauryn became a trailblazer. She gave so many young people someone to look up to when they wanted to wear their hair naturally. Her influence is still felt today. Celebrities like SZA, Halle Bailey, and even Rihanna have all said Lauryn inspired them to rock their natural hair. Remember when Rihanna wore locks in Ocean's 8? That was straight up Lauryn vibes. So yeah, Lauryn wasn't just a musical icon. She helped shift the culture, encouraging people to embrace who they are, inside and out. And that's just one piece of her legacy. She's had her hands in plenty of other things too, from fashion endorsements to giving back to communities through her charity work. Lauryn's influence is all about empowerment, and she's used her platform to make a difference.
If you plan to steal shit, you definitely gotta clean this up, because right now my little sister.
Lauryn Hill's influence is so powerful that magazines like Ebony and Vogue have recognized her for redefining beauty standards. She made natural hair not just stylish, but a symbol of strength, showing the world that true beauty comes from embracing who you are. Her impact goes way beyond just hair. It's also seen in her fashion choices. Back in 1999, Lauryn teamed up with Levi's to create outfits for her Miss Education tour, and this partnership was groundbreaking. Before Lauryn, it was rare for big brands to collaborate with Black musicians, but she changed that narrative. She didn't stop there. She also worked with luxury brand Armani to design looks for her tour, and one of those designs even made its way to the iconic Met Gala. Lauryn's style has always been ahead of its time, and over the years, high-profile designers like Alexander Wang and Louis Vuitton's Virgil Abloh have openly said that Lauryn has inspired their work. Her influence on fashion is undeniable, and she's credited with making hoop earrings a mainstream staple. From her hair to her wardrobe, Lauryn Hill didn't just follow trends, she created them, leaving a legacy of confidence and authenticity that continues to inspire fashion and beauty today. Today, hoop earrings are a staple accessory, and Lauryn Hill deserves credit for that. But her influence isn't just about looks, she's all about giving back too. In the late 1990s, Lauryn founded a non-profit organization called the Refugee Project, which focused on helping young people in New Jersey. They offered scholarships, mentorship, after-school programs, and even a summer camp for kids. Lauryn didn't just stop at local work. She also partnered with the US government on an anti-drug campaign, and one of her ads became super popular among teens, proving how powerful her message really was. Lauryn isn't one to shy away from speaking up for what's right. In 2003, she performed at a Christmas concert at the Vatican, but used the opportunity to call out the Catholic Church for not doing enough about the child abuse scandals. While her comments sparked controversy back then, today many see her as courageous for speaking the truth. She's always used her voice to fight for important causes, like when she released Black Rage in 2014 as a response to police brutality. She performed it at events raising awareness about human rights and injustice. Lauryn's commitment to global issues has never wavered. She was also behind the canceled concert in Israel, clarifying that she wasn't taking sides, but wanted to support dignity for all people. And in 2019, she made sure to invest in the future, providing 10 scholarships for students at Alpha Institute in Jamaica. Through her MLH fund, Lauryn continues to help young people chase their dreams and make a difference.